recording this the afternoon of SmackDown, so we don't have anything to go with based on SmackDown. But I'll start with this, right? The main events.
Yeah.
Wow. What a story. Fact, yeah. The main events. WrestleMania Saturday. Yeah, I'm starting with the bad first. WrestleMania Saturday main event. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, with all the celebrity interaction that really, to me, just kind of killed the build. You had 20 years of history that decided, like, nah, we don't need to do that. We need to, for reasons, right? What did you think about the build?
Yeah.
And what did you think about the match itself?
And you know me, I see things differently from how everybody else sees things. You know, it's different when you're a professional wrestler and looking, you know, and from the fans' point of view, yeah, we're all fans at the end of the day. But it's like the guys who never been in the ring point of view and the guys who've been in the ring. I think the buildup was good. It showed history. It showed, to me, it showed, yeah, we could be friends, Cody, but I got to win this belt. And this, you know, and it goes back to a story with, you know, me and Corey Mack, you know, not trying to beat around the bush with that, but it's like, yo, we were one-time partners and buddies, but at the end of the day, it's about that championship. You know, I understood where Randy was coming from. I felt great to see Randy, you know, break out that old school Randy Orton isms, you know. The match, I felt it was a little rushed. And I get it, and this is where people got to understand. They had like a 3-hour pre-show. You guys got to understand, Mike Steph, you went to a wrestling show. You know how when the shows before it's getting, a lot of people are rowdy and they're intense and they get their, you know, their energies up and they're hearing all this. And when you have energy that is out there, you might have fans yelling at other fans. You might have, hey, I want to see what's going to happen with this. And you have all them hours of the show. And then when it's time for that main event and you want that energy to stay up, sometimes fans can get exhausted. And the fans' energy can be, oh, man, all right, blah, blah, blah. But it's also up to the story to live up to the billing of that. To me, it showed there's more to the story. Like, I liked at the end of the match that Randy said, everybody thought going to Randy's after the belt. He's not worried about friendship. He's not worried about friendship. The end of that match, it didn't matter about Pat McAfee's involvement. It didn't matter about this one, that one. It was Randy Orton showing the world. Yeah, it's about the title, but it's also about me being the legend killer again. There's a difference. Could have shook his hand. Yeah, you beat me, blah, blah, blah. He took that belt. He hit him in the head with it. And the biggest thing of all is that clip right there. He kicked him right in the head. That wasn't saying, I'm after your belt anymore. Nah, dude, that's the legend killer being reborn out of the ashes, like rising up like a phoenix again and saying, I'm going to show you why I was the most feared villain in a point in time in WWE. And I can't wait to see what's next for that. I really can't, because that kick solidified everything to go forward.
Now, I'm going to ask you this question based on your experience as a professional wrestler.
Yep.
Cody Rhodes, right? Everybody knows, we both know, fans are fickle. You know, we like you when you're on your way up, and then once you reach that pinnacle and you're at that pinnacle for a while, it's like, all right, we focus our energy on the next person that's going on that ride, and now we're like, listen, we want that dude to get knocked off, right?
Yep.
But I guess my question is this: twofold. One, in your opinion, has Cody Rhodes, the character, done anything to dissuade the fans from being on his side. Like, he's literally been in an era which you didn't believe it could happen. He's been a white meat baby face through and through.
Yep.
Like, yeah, he's taking, he's giving his shots back, but that's because he's been screwed over and over and over and over and over again. It goes back to the 80s where Hulk Hogan would always get screwed by his best friend, even though I have a theory that a lot of times Hulk Hogan deserved to get screwed by his friends, because if you look back at the storylines, he was an a-hole to his friends. So after a while, I was like, you know what, Hulk, you deserve that. But neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Now, also, being the fact that he's getting this backlash more and more, do you believe that not intentionally sabotaging him, but the way the position that they booked him in has done him no favors in back-to-back years? You have him against John Cena during John Cena's retirement run, where John Cena's actually beloved by the fan base, and they know that's his last run, and you have him going for history. He's not going to get cheered on that. And this year, going against Randy Orton, who has become a beloved senior member of the federation, of the company, having to pretty much be goaded into, well, Randy, I know, we're friends, we're buds and everything, but I want you to bring your best. I don't want you to take it easy on me.
Yeah, be careful what you ask for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you think he's been sabotaged by the booking? And also, more importantly to this, hopefully I'm not loading it up too much. Do you think that it's starting to get into AEW territory of the fans are starting to revolt to the point that he feels like he has to put himself in positions physically to just try to remain where he's at? Because this picture right here, I'm sorry,
it's brutal. Like, that picture right there should be, hey, it's the common conception. Oh, that wrestling, that fake stuff. Hey, bro, there ain't nothing fake about getting kicked in your orbital bone. And they can say, yeah, accidents happen. No, dude, predetermined don't mean fake. Sometimes people got to understand. I think Hogan said it best, and he said, this business isn't a work; it's a shoot. Sometimes it's a shoot. It's a shoot. And especially those on top, it's a shoot. But that picture right there says 1,000 words right there.
But do you believe he's been sabotaged by the booking the last 2 years?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because with a lot of that process, it's not about how you're booking it. It's where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? It's like I said, do you listen to the crowd? I said it last time with the Jey Uso stuff. Remember? I said it. I said, yo, they want to yeet. They want to do all this, da-da-da. But then they're like, no. Wrestle. We want to wrestle. Oh, you want to be entertained, but then when you want some wrestling, then you're like, no, we're over it. No, they weren't over Jey Uso. They were just over the fact that, yo, you wanted to see him grab the ball. He grabbed it, and you guys weren't satisfied. Going with Cody, I don't think it's about the booking, bro. I don't think it's about the booking. It's really about the where do we go next route, because Cody showed against Randy. All right, I could do some dirty stuff too. That's with the position, because you can't base an entire story on one crowd's reaction. That's the honest to God truth. Because let's go back, 1996, Psycho Sid versus Shawn Michaels, Madison Square Garden, Survivor Series. Shawn was the man. I literally went to the house show in October when it was Undertaker and Shawn main eventing against Goldust and Mankind. Tore the roof off the building. and they cheered him. They loved him. Everything. Like there was people toppling the guardrails. Like I remember I stuck my hand out and I couldn't get to him because fans toppled the guardrail and people fell down. The guardrail fell down. And Shawn was loved. And there's certain guys. Listen, there's certain guys where they could say, nah, that's their town. Whenever Undertaker came on, Austin came on, Shawn, Brett, Hogan, Piper, those guys, that New York was, even if they weren't billed from there, New York was their home. We loved them, and, Shawn went in there as a babyface, and Sid was supposed to look like dominant heel, right? What happened? Sid comes out, crowd loved him, fist bumped him. Fist bump. They booed Shawn. And but Shawn said this in, I think, his book. Shawn said in his book or an interview, and he was like, "Oh, I turned Sid babyface in the Garden." Yeah, you did. And in his book, he said, that wasn't my role. I didn't handle my role correctly. And then he told him a story how Vince told him, just because they're booing you in the arena, you remember the eyes watching at home don't feel the same way. So for everybody to say, oh, Cody this and Cody that, the fans are getting tired of Cody. There's certain fans that have their amendment right to choose to who they want to cheer, who they want to boo. But it's also the eyes watching at home. There are little kids that are saying Cody Rhodes. There are little kids who are doing the entrances. They could say they don't like Cody, but everybody, when it's time to do the whoa, they do all they do. They do it with him. So it's just like, yeah, it comes with the territory of being a white hot babyface, bro. You got to pick your battles. Sometimes they're going to like everything you do, and sometimes they're like, oh my God. That's why when you seen during that match, it's like, whoa, Cody just kicked him in the balls. Whoa, what we got here? No, it's just showing you I'll do whatever I got to do to defend, keep my belt. Because he knew who he was going in there with. He knew he was going there with Randy. Okay, you're going there with Randy. I can't be cookie cutter clean. He ain't bringing that. But that's where I'm going with that. It's just, you got to trust the process. It's like I told you last time. You just got to trust the process and just let the story unfold. See where it goes.
Speaking of stories unfolding, because I want to push back on that, but I got two other things that I really want. Because this conversation with Cody can go. We could probably have our own whole podcast just based on what I believe has been the mistakes of what they've done with Cody and really messing up the golden goose. To me personally, like when you have the golden goose, and when you have somebody who has been an integral part, not saying the only part, but the integral part of getting the company as hot as it was, you don't mess with that until you get the last egg. And I believe they've left a lot of legs untended based on decisions.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's something we could talk about at a later date. That's
for the strive for 5, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Matter of fact, that's a good thing. But you're saying that the story and where they lead to, what did you think about Oba Femi?
One of my predictions I predicted, huh?
Yes. Not only defeating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, but also, I'm not going to say more importantly, because I'm not going to downplay what Oba did, what that match meant for Oba. But the aftermath of Brock seemingly retiring. Your thoughts on both?
I predicted it when we talked about the aftermath of the Rumble. I said it. I said it right there. I said, yo, that's money. That's why Brock was in that ring. I said, If they would have touched in the Rumble last time we spoke, that match would have probably had it would have been just a one-sided, all right, we know what's going to happen. And this is where I say when like, the fans, they think they know and blah blah blah. Everybody's all Brock don't want to do jobs. Brock don't want to do that. Yo, Brock is one of the most giving people ever. He put over. You guys don't understand. He put over Daniel Bryan by giving Daniel Bryan offense. He put over AJ Styles and making AJ Styles look like he was a threat. Put him over with that calf crusher. He knows he's so generous, and you guys don't see it. You guys don't see it. You see as Brock has like a 5 to 8 minute match. He wants to squash everybody, but look at the presentation of the match. You make them believe that they got a shot, and then that's when you flip the switch. Okay, here we go. Brock is super giving, and Brock deserves all his flowers. He does, because that was a very generous giving offer. He knew what Oba Femi could become. He knew that if I had to have a program with somebody, who can you do business? What a perfect way to do business, by giving back to what the same business that made you. The same way that he was brought into WWE and was made into the next big thing. He just did that for Oba Femi at WrestleMania. Look at the build-up. Look at the hype up. Oh, you're going to challenge me? Okay, yeah. 2 weeks later, how are we going to get this hotter? Oh, let's start throwing shit at each other. Okay, let's show. Hey, all right, you're a big bull. I'm a big bull. We're gonna collide. Who's the big bad son of a bitch? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and what happened? He made you tune in to WrestleMania. Didn't have to be main event. Didn't have to be co-main event. That to me, and I tell everybody, and it's what I was taught growing up, is your first match has to be explosive. It has to set the tone for the rest of the show. And I think that's what lacklustered with night 1 and night 2. Nothing against anybody in night 1, but you had that must-see power of the eye, of the imagination. I got to see Oba and Brock. That started off the show for night 2, and that skyrocketed the rest of the damn show. And what a phenomenal job. Like, Brock always came in there with his bread and butter, think he was going to do his I'm taking you down, doing this stuff. Oba Femi got up, choke slam, hit him with his move finish. 1, 2, 3. And that was just the beauty of professional wrestling that a lot of fans and a lot of people forget, that this is entertainment. This is sports entertainment. And this is like a soap opera, and you've seen it in full form. Brock Lesnar was a dominant man, and now there's a new king of the jungle. Now there's a new dominant man. And you got him in Oba Femi. What a good way of doing business and paving the way for the future. That was pretty awesome. That was awesome.
Do you believe that? I mean, I have a conspiracy theory.
Oh.
Do you believe that Brock Lesnar's retirement was spurred a moment? As in, okay, creative knew he was going to put him over. You're going to put him over to the utmost. Okay, listen, I'm going to make Oba, right?
Yeah.
But with that being said, listen, I know going into it, I'm going to make Oba to the point of this should not be any coming back for me.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But this is what I'm choosing to do, and pretty much Brock has the cachet of, yeah, listen, if I choose to hang it up after that match, I don't got to tell y'all.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's right. I mean, it's the one thing about Brock Lesnar, and everybody gives him a spot for it now, but I used to always say it. Brock Lesnar is a legit badass. Yeah, it don't matter what happened to him in UFC. If he won, people win, people lose in fights. It happens. But can nobody say when Brock Lesnar's walking through the door and they can say, oh, I could take Brock Lesnar. You got to be out of your mind. That dude made wrestling for a lot of old school generational people, fans. They made you believe, and he made you believe that it could be a legit shoot again. Sometimes maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Who knows? But the art of making people believe and capitalizing in one's mind. Whoa, is that real? Whoa, is that real? Got you. You're a fan. The magic is still there. If you could be like, whoa, was that real? Yeah. Yeah. He did a great job with his career doing that and giving back it towards the end, and all the flowers in the world to Brock. Do I think it's his full retirement? Who knows? I have a theory, but maybe I'll go 3 for 3 for my predictions. Do I think it's his last Mania? Yes. Do I think that was him saying there really should be no reason for me to call out a single person, another challenge, another this, another that. I did business the right way by skyrocketing Oba Femi. Do I think it's his last match? No. Do I think... Remember what Gunther said, Paul Heyman, you owe me more than just a favor. What a perfect way to really end Brock's legacy. SummerSlam's in Minnesota. Brock went to college in Minnesota. He billed himself from Minnesota. What a better, if you're really going to give a reason for Brock to come back for SummerSlam and have that, hey, this is it for, I could go out in Minnesota. I would love to see him in SummerSlam. But if Mania was it for him, I got no complaints. No complaints. He did the right thing for Oba Femi. Hands down.
No, I agree. That's always lingering in the back of my head of, yeah, maybe this is an angle for Gunther, but the reason why I'm not 100% on that, I'm more like 40, 60 against, is, don't get me wrong, Paul Heyman is phenomenal. Like he knows how to how to do his facial expression. He knows how to play the fans like a fiddle. To me, his emotion both that night and the night after belied, like, listen, I think this is this ain't storyline. This is that's my heart. That's
my dog, man. That's his dog right there. Like, it's the truth. Brock Lesnar is the reason Paul Heyman came back. When Brock Lesnar came back to WWE, after what was it, Mania 20? After he fought Cena fought Rock in Florida.
Yeah, 28.
The night after. Yeah, it wasn't because Paul Heyman. Brock said it in an interview. He said, "I'm not doing this talking shit. Bring back Paul Heyman. Let him talk for me." And Paul Heyman found that love again. Thank you, Brock. Because without Brock Lesnar coming back, we would not have Paul Heyman back in WWE. So thank you, Brock. You know.
Now, the main event of night 2 was
story, cinematic. Everything it needed to be without the jabs. But go ahead.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. You give me your thoughts on the build, and you give me your thoughts the match, and did the right person win? The floor is yours.
Right person did win. The build was phenomenal, minus the personal stuff. As you know, Mike, Steph, and other people know, it is one thing as a man. You never talk about family. You don't ever talk about another man's family. But I get it. I get it. Certain people, if they were okay with that situation, whatever. But it's hard to be as a man to say, yo, you think I'm going to let you slide with that? Like, nah, bro. Who knows the agreement to that? I don't know. I'm not there. The build-up was dope because it slowly involved the Usos, slowly involved his family saying to a point where, yo, we're not, even if they weren't messing with Roman, that's still my family. You know, Punk got to answer for that. Punk got to answer for that. It made everybody invest. It still told the story of the year before, the triple threat match. Hey, you probably cost me from winning. You cost me from winning. We both got screwed over by the same guy we thought was had our best interest. And then he screwed over the guy who won. So captivating, that story. Well played. Well done. I loved everything about it. The right man did win because Roman gave everybody an entire year. No championships. No, I'm giving y'all the floor. Do something. So I don't have to be back. So they don't come call me back saying, we need you back. It's like Hogan. When Hogan and Warrior, Hogan said, yo, I'm putting you over. Here you go. I'll go do a movie. I'll step back. It didn't work. They needed Hogan. They need Roman. Say what you want about Roman. I think, Roman's on a different mountain than everybody. I don't care what anybody got to say. Agree, disagree, whatever. Roman, for a whole year, said, yo, they said, all right, Roman, we ain't going to put you in the top scene. Cool, don't want it. He could have challenged Cody right after tagging with him. Said, nah, I don't want it. No, I'm good. Let the story play out. He's going to let everybody have their fun, but when he was ready to come back and take back the throne, ain't nobody going to stop him. And now it's a whole different story. The first time with the bloodline is he used the bloodline to stay in power. But now he's trying to say, no. I missed y'all on top. Some people could say, oh, yeah. It's slowly going back into the old bloodline. Nah, think at it this way. You've seen how he treated them in the first arc. He needed them to get the bloodline back to face against Solo's bloodline. And now he's seeing, yo, why fight each other? Why think let's all eat together? I think it just showed that the OTC, when he came back, was cool. I don't know if you guys heard that was my stomach. I am hungry. But the OTC came back after losing that belt. You didn't see the OTC at WrestleMania. That was the Tribal Chief. That was head of the table. That was the Tribal Chief that showed up at WrestleMania, came back with the gold and black in different forms. And he came back with that OG theme song. And once you knew he came back, Punk came back out with the Ring of Honor song. But it didn't set the tone. It told a beautiful story. It was like, I'll dig deep in my past, as in CM Punk, to do what I got to do to win. Roman Reigns says, but I'll dig in my past to show you why the Tribal Chief was the most dominant man in WWE for 4 years. So it was the clash of the past. Is your independent past, your history of who you were as a CM Punk versus who I am as the well-oiled machine of WWE for 4 years. And it showed that it's basically showing, hey, the well-oiled machine of 4 years triumphs anything you did, but not taking nothing away from Punk. Everybody, there's a lot of Punk haters out there. Oh, Punk's too old. Punk's too F you. You guys can, you could say that typing on a keyboard, but you guys can't get in the ring and do what we do for 3 minutes. You take a bump once, I don't want to, my back hurts. No. You run the ropes for 2 minutes. God bless this man. Anybody who's still doing it at the age you're doing it, God bless him. Takes a lot. And Punk put a lot into that match. Conditioning, getting ready. That I think, Punk was in great shape and it told a beautiful story. And I'll leave it at that. It was a beautiful story. It made magic. Is it the last time they'll ever touch again? Hell no. But that was how Mania had to end. Great job.
I'm gonna start bringing it to a close with
yes, sir.
2 last things.
All right.
One, as a continuation of Roman Reigns, on Monday night, when you were saying about the differences in the bloodline of how he's treating his family. One thing I've always given props to Roman about, even before I became a fan of the Tribal Chief, like when he started that Tribal Chief character, he had me. Like I wasn't a fan of the big dog. I wasn't a fan of Believe in the Shield. I wasn't a fan of none of that. But when he started talking about, I show up and win, you acknowledge me. I threw my ones up. The one thing I've always admired about him. And this is personally, and it bleeds in on screen, is like you said, he takes care of his family. Yeah. He takes care of his family. Like, okay, I'm eating. I got the run of the place, but guess what? My cousins, they riding with me.
Yeah.
Even if we're not together,
yeah,
we're together, right?
Yeah.
And it's vice versa. I just think that's just how their family dynamic goes.
Yeah.
So when on Monday at Raw, when he pretty much told them, like, listen, I ain't really asking y'all to for let me rule you. You know, I want to do this together.
Yep.
This particular picture right here is so interesting.
Different. Yeah.
Because both cousins are looking at him like, and they're behind him and they're looking at him like, okay.
Yep.
All right. Now, interestingly enough, Jimmy was the first one to say, yo, you know, Oos, yo, I'm riding with you.
Yeah. When he was the most hesitant. He was the most hesitant.
Yes. And he said, I'm speaking for Jay. He said, I'm speaking for Jay. Jay never said anything. Jay played his position, but he never said anything.
He wanted to hear about a Roman spell. Yeah.
Then for Jacob to come out, and pretty much this was always teased, but it never, thank goodness they didn't touch back when the two bloodline was feuding. I mean, yeah, they had their confrontation, but it was never a one-on-one. They always saved it. They always kept it to the tuck. What do you believe, Jacob? Okay. Because it's just the very beginning. Do you believe there's a scenario in which, I'm not saying both Usos turn on Roman, but there is another split, as in either Jay goes on his own and he's against
Roman,
Jacob.
Wait, give me 1 second, my friend. Let me just give me 1 second. Let's put this on pause for 1 second. 1 second.
Okay.
Check. We're back.
Okay, we're back. Little technical difficulties, but neither here nor there. Where I went to pick up from was the expressions on the Usos' faces where Jimmy was talking and said he was going to fall in line more or less, but Jay didn't say anything. Looking at this particular picture right here, and then Jacob came out. So I guess the question is this: do you think that it might end up in a three-way situation of, listen, Jimmy's going to ride with Roman. Jay is like, listen, I've had that championship, the taste of a championship. I'm not really trying to be little bro anymore, little cousin anymore. Because remember, the storyline kind of dropped that he really was feeling the way about not being champion. Like he doesn't care about the tag team. You know, he doesn't want to do the tag team thing again. And Jacob is calling his shot. So where do you believe that this might fall in? Do you think it's going to be a three-way situation, or do you think Jay is going to be Jay and Jacob on one side and Jimmy and Roman on the other side?
Neither.
Okay.
I think this can possibly be anything. This can possibly lead to Jay having his own bloodline. What if Jay had other members of the family that aren't signed to WWE come in and have it be more reckless, take what we want type mentality, thug it out type shit? With Jacob, it's clearly he don't care about no bloodline. He don't care about no order. He's about his family at home. You know what I'm saying? So he needs that belt because he knows that WWE title's going to be taken up. All right, y'all worried about Oba Femi. Y'all worried about this one. Y'all worried about that one. I just beat the former WWE champion. Put some respect on my name. I earned my right to go after the World Heavyweight title. To me, I feel like he's doing what the people want Jimmy to do. You know, like, yo, finally, like, step up, bro. But maybe that, I don't know if that's in the cards. That could be from the fans' outlook on what they want Jimmy to be. That's one where the story has to unfold. Because it could go anywhere. It could go where Roman don't want the Usos to get involved, or maybe the Usos don't want to get involved, but Roman tells him to get involved because at the end of the day, Jacob is a Fatu. Usos are a Fatu. Roman ain't a Fatu. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that first line of cousin. It's just the story untold. Who knows? Who knows? And that's one where I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens with that one. That's
cool. I like how they came out with that. It added a new wrinkle.
Mm-hmm.
I did not at the furthest. I did not think Jacob was going to show up on Raw. But if you think about it, there's nothing left for him to do on SmackDown, so you might as well come on Raw. Just like I think eventually CM Punk is going to end up on SmackDown because there's nothing left for him to do on Raw.
Nope, they got Roman now. They got what they wanted.
The one thing I will say, I don't particularly like Roman with the world belt. It just don't look right. It just don't. I mean, yeah, he could level it up, but it just don't, like, aesthetically looking.
Yeah,
I'm used to him with the WWE championship. Not
the flag holder. Yeah,
not the championship that he used to call like the consolation prize.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I just figure at this, it's like it's one off the checklist. I did it. I did it. Yeah, you know.
The last thing I'll say, and we can keep this one brief. Rhea versus Jade at WrestleMania. The lead up to that, I think, me personally, I think the legs got cut off of that potential rivalry due to whatever, let's say, Jade was trying to build on social media to get interest into that. Took a turn, and they was like, listen, no, and pretty much told them, stay in your lane. And that kind of took the heat out of it. But my problem, I have a problem with something that happened after WrestleMania during the post show. Right now, I'm a firm believer. Don't throw rocks and hide your hands. Right. If you wasn't comfortable, you didn't want to get engaged in a back and forth verbal battle or whatever, leading up to try to get this money. Don't talk that talk after the fact.
Yeah.
So when she's on there talking about, talking, don't.
She found out who the bitch was, right, or something like that, or something.
I'm like, nah. I can't expect that from you.
Yeah.
Because when Jade was talking that talk, you was like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't like the narrative that you're saying all this. You playing victim, right?
Yeah.
So
it's the verbal. You can't be all talk and no bark. No bite. If someone's bringing it to that level, you got to give it right back. Like, you got to understand, if you're willing to go that length, and then if she was not comfortable with it, she should have never commented on social media. She should have just left it for the promos. Like, yo, I'm hearing what you're saying, but I'd rather say it to you. Don't do. And another thing why I got cut under the rug is because if you look at the dynamic of that WrestleMania, Punk and Roman were going back at each other on the mic and on social media. Liv Morgan, Stephanie Valkyria was going on the mic and going on social media. You ain't going to have a whole WrestleMania where, let's do promos on TV and then let's do on social media. Pick your poison, pick your battle. Pick your platform. If you're going to go on social media, be prepared for however the gloves come off. Because if you're going to look like a prick, sound like a prick, you better be a prick 24/7.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it for let's make money, let's get the people engaged and involved, keep it for TV. Keep it for promos on TV. Do on social media. Do your promos. Don't try and mix it too if you ain't ready for that. Maybe it was a point where some jabs took a left when it should have took a right, and it told stories of what happened backstage. Or I think there was one comment where she said, oh, you go hang out with a creative and stuff like that. That's also the thing we don't know. We don't know, and maybe we'll find out on Unreal or whatever the hell they call it, is, if they were okay with it. If you're okay with it, then okay. And it's the common belief. I'm pretty sure everybody has a thing. Say whatever you want about me. Don't bring up my family. Don't bring up my personal life. Don't bring up don't get you in trouble behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because you say something that's crossing the line, you ain't got to worry about me with this belt. You ain't got to worry about our program. You're going to worry about my fist in your face. Because at the end of the day, as men, as women, protect the boundaries, but maybe that was their cause of saying, hey, maybe this could make us money. Maybe it was the company saying, nah, we already have 2 of those things happening. We don't need a third. Or maybe third, the company just seen it as something as, okay, you just get into the title belt. You didn't win the Rumble, as in Rhea. You didn't win the Rumble, but we're still going to make you a focal point in Mania. But let's focus on the woman who won the Rumble. That's how I feel it should be. Okay, great. If you're going to focus on, make the Rumble winners mean something more than just those who won it in the chamber. Chamber matches, yeah, you won the opportunity, but it's not the story of I won the Rumble.
Yeah, it's a consolation prize.
Yeah. Yep. I get it. Hey, how can we get Rhea in a championship match, but it's not the full the story that we want to project? And I think that Liv in Stephanie Valkyrie story, that shit hit a home run because it made you say, is this real? Is this not? Is these real feelings? It did what nobody expected it to do, and that is so magical. It's so magical. When you could get a story to be like, oh, man, guys, you guys better pick up the slack. You better pick up your promos. You better pick up your intensity. These girls are killing it.
Yo, when she said, yo, tu madre basura, I was like, oh, I know what that means. Because usually they call something else trash. So when you say basura, I'm like, I already know. I already know. She had to keep it PG-13. I already know what she was trying to get at. I'll say this, and I'll end up on this note when it comes to the Rhea and Jade thing. I think there was a fear, perhaps backstage, that this would turn into what we had last year with Tiffany and Charlotte, where it got real out of control.
Yep.
And no matter what people may see or may think, even if on what they had on Real, but when what they had on Real actually seemed like it told exactly why Tiffany was in a position after WrestleMania the way she was, because Tiffany was the one that got the heat. Charlotte didn't get the heat, right? It was based on almost like, listen, all right, Charlotte has a way of, let's say, really bullying you on the promo. I get it, and you were trying to hold your ground, but you don't got enough stature. You don't got enough tenure to do what you did.
That's why on Unreal.
If that's her and Becky, okay, fine. Both y'all go in the corners, y'all break it out. You rookie, you can't do that. And that's why the rest of her year ended up that way, and she was not even on WrestleMania this year.
I also think it's a thing too. She is, I think, and I use this term very well. I say, people shot themselves in the foot and they're bleeding out. Is you got to be careful on when and what you say, where you say it. Like, people think social media. Yeah, a lot of people can think and say they could say what they want on social media, but everything comes back. You got to be careful. Like, even when you do little, like I think she was on a podcast or something. I think she was on Logan Paul's podcast. And he said, oh, and somebody said, oh, you're the future. She's like, yeah, well, when by the time I'm 30, I want to leave WWE and do movies. I said,
Nope, can't do that.
Oh, you're not fully invested into the machine that's giving you and putting your name on billboards and putting your name in this and that and making TV and making commercials and making T-shirts and making action figures. Okay, watch how everything we take it back. And that's what you were saying before about Cody, is you were saying, oh, you got to protect a white. Yeah, you have to protect it because the endorsement deals, the action figures, the T-shirt sales. And now with Tiffany, at Tiffany time, now whose time is it? Because you had everything here and you said what your heart felt. I don't know if I'm going to be around forever. Okay, now they're going to, and who am I to say anything? But it's like, okay, you're looking at it as an Ultimate Warrior standpoint. You want what comes with the business. You want the money. You want the publicity. You want this, but you don't want to put the work in. You don't want to be like everybody else who wants to be in this until the day they retire. You have a timetable, and you're not even 30 yet. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll give it to somebody who wants to do this every day, who wants to be here for years. And that's why never, keep your politics to yourself.
Yeah.
Keep your personal life to yourself. Keep your opinions to yourself, because just because you think you got the platform and people, the views and all that stuff, ain't nobody always going to agree with you, and they're going to use that shit as as bait. But that's why I know.
I agree. On top of that, like, you're throwing it on somebody's platform that's actually the reverse. Like, he don't need it, but yet he made a point. Like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna invest in this, and I'm gonna do this full time. Like I'm gonna really do my thing. So not only are you doing it with somebody who's done the reverse, you're doing it on a platform that, even though it's not WWE sponsored, you really think the people front the powers that be are not looking at this podcast?
EKO said, "Word, okay,
bet."
I'm surprised he didn't go to NXT as a big punishment to say, "Oh, you're gonna learn your lesson." I'm surprised they didn't say. And it's not a knock at NXT, because NXT is killing it in their own right. They're with how they're building it up. I would have been like, "All right, go to NXT then. All right, cool. Go back to NXT."
Know what they did? They did something better. Guess what? We got your replacement, Blake Monroe. Step on up.
I'm telling you, for anybody who didn't do their homework on her, I think there's so many, and this is where men wrestlers will never give women wrestlers flowers, because to me, there's a lot more that women are doing, move-wise, blah, 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 entrance-wise, that guys are envious, and they take and say, "Oh, let's add a little flavor to this, but I seen a female do it, let's do it better." They never want to give the females their flowers, saying, "Oh, yeah, I'm inspired by so many females." No, man. Give them their flowers too, because they bust their ass just as hard, if not harder. And, I really think there's a lot of people that NXT signed that are going to really start, turning heads.
Yeah.
There's going to be people who are on NXT that get called up that are going to be like, "Oh, shit." And it makes the people on the roster hungrier to stay there, knowing that there are people hungry to come in to take their spot. And it's just like IWA. I say it all the time. I was like, don't get complacent because you think you got it good. Somebody could come in, and the word I hate, "You took my spot." No. I'm hungrier than you. Yo, you tell me, and I tell this to everybody, you tell me you're obsessed with pro wrestling, the entertainment side of it, the wrestling side of it, more than me. And I swear to God, I'll give you whatever you think I got. If you can say on a day in, day out, inside the ring, outside the ring, that you put more time and effort than me, I'll give it to you. I won't even fight you for it. I'll give it to you. Till then, no, because I don't feel nobody is. Nobody is. Like, not knocking anybody else's hunger, but don't ever sit across from me. It's like Russian roulette. All right, put it to your head, blah, blah, blah. No. You say you put more time. Say you love this more than me. Say you are obsessed with the professional like I am. I dare you. I dare you.
I totally agree. I'm of that same mindset. And I think I've mentioned this off air, and I might have mentioned this on air because sometimes I don't remember what I'll be saying. But I feel that when it comes to wrestling knowledge, right? And this is not me being arrogant. This is not me being conceited. When it comes to wrestling knowledge and my love for the sport, love for the genre. If I decided to focus 100% on giving wrestling content, there's no stopping me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I let y'all live, because I'm a multifaceted dude. I like my football. I like my basketball. I like my baseball. I like my pop culture. I like my politics. Yeah, I got a potpourri of what that I like to give out and espouse. Maybe to my detriment, but not to my detriment. It's just I'm just that multifaceted when it comes
or
to
you just got to upgrade down. Now let me put a little sugar on the cake here.
Okay.
Maybe there's one time you get to host a podcast, you set up a podcast, you have a big round table. You have everybody from each sport, each thing. You can have everybody sit around at one table, have one big discussion with everybody, and see where everybody else's knowledge is at. If it doesn't grow the platform, you tried. You'll go back to doing separate things. But one time, Mike Steph, you should have, okay, I'll have one person from wrestling, one person from basketball, one person from politics, one person from football, one person from TV shows. Have them all sitting in the same thing and see if in some way or another they're not all line together, because people can knock on wrestling, but wrestling is everywhere. Wrestling's in politics, wrestling's on TV shows, wrestling's in UFC, wrestling's in football, basketball, baseball. Why? Because everybody could chirp. They want to say they have rivals, they have this and that. There's always a good guy, there's always a bad guy. Pro wrestling is everywhere, even when they hate to admit it.
Yeah, shoot. Pro wrestling is life. You really think about it.
Conor McGregor, everything where he got, pro wrestling.
Nah, I once again, I really appreciate you taking time to come out.
Even though my technical difficulty.
I actually, listen, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. It wasn't his technical difficulty, it was my technical difficulty. Because listen, y'all know I'm an open book when it comes to everything. Like, so I don't put on no facade over here. So
you're lucky you guys couldn't go 3 hours today. That's your only regret with you guys. This episode wasn't a Broadway.
Yeah. So so he had to put his charger on, right? So when he put his charger on and reconnected, I didn't realize that my headphone actually came out the jack. So I'm thinking there's something wrong with his phone. Like, yo, I can't hear you. And then all of a sudden I looked and I saw a cord and I'm like, oops, my bad. That's me. So listen, but regardless, please, once again, please check out IWA. Please check out La Corporación. Check out the 2 events that's coming up. This Sunday, Fighting for the Wolfpack, 2 p.m., Nutley, New Jersey, at the Nut House. And also May 30th, he'll be back before then, but May 30th, Extortion, sponsored by La Corporación. They're first in a line of many for the IWA promotion. So once again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, my brother. Anytime you need me, you call me up and I'll be here.
I appreciate it. And we're going to get out of here. So I would like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me and the podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to. My voice held up pretty much. It's starting to crack now. So that means it's time to go. I will check y'all next week when I do have a special guest. Once again, please press like, please subscribe to the channel. So whenever I decide to go live, y'all be the first ones to hear it. Because my Knicks are Nixon. I have thoughts about the Mets. They finally broke their 12-game losing streak. And next week, if all goes according to plan, I will actually have a guest on from the world of education. And yes, not Tyler McDowell, but he is 6 degrees separated from, she is 6 degrees of separation from Tyler McDowell. So all that being said, I'm going to get out of here while the getting is good. See y'all next week. Goodbye.